So with the NBA playoffs underway, I thought no better time than to make a video about which logo is the best in the league. Is it the classical ones from the Celtics, Lakers, and Bulls, or the revamped ones from the Nuggets and Jazz? I'm no art major, I'm no art critic, and I'm no graphic designer. So what I'm going off of is my own personal opinion. What ones do I feel look the best, and what ones do I think look the worst? I genuinely have no pulse on how people feel about these logos, and I have a feeling that they are going to be way off on the consensus. In the end, I don't feel any of these are bad logos, except for the one in last place, the Utah Jazz. It was revealed in 2022, yet is the most cookie cutter one out of them all. It's just two assets smashed together and called good. At number 29, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nothing really much to say about this logo other than it's a C with some sharp edges and it's a downgrade from the previous ones. They obviously went for a more simplistic route for this logo, and simplicity is always not a bad thing. This one is just so simple that it feels lifeless and soulless. That trait is not shared by number 28, the Indiana Pacers. No duh, this is not one of my favorites, but I appreciate how it has a little bit more flavor and sizzle compared to the Jazz and Cavs logos. But so does every single other logo on the list, making it hard for this one to be any higher, especially against the colorway of number 27, the Detroit Pistons. This one has soul, playing tribute to the deep-rooted history of the Bad Boys era, paired with a great color scheme that they say represents the city of Detroit. Not a bad logo by any means. Compared to the others, though, it feels like it could have a little bit more. Not too much complexity, though, like the Washington Wizards. This logo is a garage. It's got everything stuffed in it. It's got a monument. It's got the stars representing DC, Virginia, and Maryland, and even finds a way to stuff in a basketball. It can just get a little funky at certain angles, just like someone's jump shot on number 25, the Denver Nuggets. Great colors. I'm just not a big fan of the general design. I kind of prefer the past logos from before, and that's why it sets it at the bottom, right behind Jay-Z's logo of the Brooklyn Nets. What I like about this one is its sleekness and compatibility with the uniforms. Now at number 23, I have the Milwaukee Bucks with the design that came out back in 2015 and showcases many different creative elements. The horns of the buck creating a basketball along with the M on the bottom are two great creative touches, and those along with just the design of the buck help it surpass the others before it, but right behind number 22 of the Phoenix Suns. I genuinely just find this one more aesthetically pleasing than the Bucks logo. It's so simple, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just like number 21, San Antonio Spurs. It's one with a great color scheme and it just works. When you see that, or at least for me, when I see that on the court, it just works. It's a nice logo with the spur. At number 20, I got the Magic. The Spurs and the Magic are very similar in using the title of their name as pretty much their logo. What separates the Magic for me is just the colorway. They are very simplistic logos, and honestly, others should probably go above it. Kind of, honestly, like number 19 on the list, Los Angeles Clippers. These three are so similar, having their names be the prominent feature of the logo, but I do think they all three have some qualities that carry them to where they are, kind of like the Pelican carrying the basketball at number 18. Great incorporation of color and a sleek design for a Pelican. It does not play it safe like the other three, and for me, that's why this one is a better logo. It embraces the Pelican, and the one that embraces the Hornet is at number 17. What I enjoy about this logo is the Hornet design and the cool little details that's within it. You got the feet wrapping around the lettering, you got the bottom with the stinger making a basketball, paired with the turquoise coloring puts this above the Pelican in my eyes, but right behind the black and red of the Toronto Raptors. Very simple compared to the other two, but I just love the contrast between the red and the black and the Raptor slash in the basketball. It's a good circle logo, and I have another circle one just above the Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks, purely just because of the colorway. I love the white and the red contrast. I can also see the Hawk design and everything else, but it's purely because of the white and red. Now, this next one might be the most controversial one on this list, purely by the fact of having at least 13 logos better than it. when it's one of the most successful logos in all of sports. Number 14 goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. No one can argue how iconic and successful this logo is. It's lasted more than 20 years. But when I put them all up, this logo lands in the middle of the pack, right next to another one with a lot of recognition, the New York Knicks. Just because they're two of the most iconic logos and successful does not mean that they look the greatest in my eyes. And I have one of the most smallest NBA franchises right ahead of them, the Sacramento Kings. Why I have it above two of the most iconic logos in sports is because it's fun, creative, and looks good. It finds a way to fit so many elements into the logo and still look good. It has a head wearing the crown. It pays a nod to the Sacramento mountain ranges. It also has a basketball on the bottom and fits the name in the logo. Such a creative one and worthy of being above those two legendary logos and right alongside the Golden State Warriors. All I have to say about this logo is it just clicks together nicely. The colors, the bridges, all comes together making a great logo. But just shy of the top 10, just behind the creative logo of the Houston Rockets. This is when simple works, and just like the Cavs logo, it's just a letter, but unlike it, it has some layers. Whether it's the obvious R or Rocket or the hidden H for Houston, all of it comes together making a top 10 logo. At number 9, I have the team that has one of the most electric players in the NBA right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Rockets and this logo are very close to me, and honestly what gives the nod to the Timberwolves is just the colorway and the wolf in the center. At number 8, I got the classic Miami Heat. Simply put, it was a clean, classic logo, a great one to be the face of the NBA in 2010 through 2014. At number 7, I got the Philadelphia 76ers, and honestly, this is one of the cleanest logos in the league. I love the contrast between the blue, the white, and the ounce of red in this logo. Its cohesiveness is really what stands out. At number 6, my bias might be shining through here. I have the Oklahoma City Thunder. I believe it is a top 10 logo, but relatively young compared to the rest, especially compared to the unique, unusual logo of the Portland Trailblazers. This logo looks good and it's in its own realm. Nothing looks like this logo in the NBA, and that's why I have it in the top 5. And it has stood the test of time, something that some of the other logos cannot say, especially number 4, the Memphis Grizzlies. I just personally love the bear logo and how it differentiates itself from the other logos and the circle logos or involving a basketball. It's purely its own. But with that being said, I think number 3 takes the general norm of the NBA logos and does it the best. The Dallas Mavericks. Everything about this logo works for me, especially the left center of this logo and the horse. The two colors contrasting together work so well, and the M on the head is such a cool touch and is such a well-designed logo. But as good as the design is, I don't think it can jump to the number 2 spot of the iconic, classic Boston Celtics. This logo is arguably one of the most iconic logos in all of sports in the NBA, right alongside the Lakers and the Knicks. However, to me, this one just simply put looks better than those other two iconic logos, and that's why it's in the number 2 spot. Nothing is better than the leprechaun except for the logo in the number 1 spot, the Chicago Bulls. A logo that has outlasted every single one in the league, being the only logo to never change in the franchise history. That alone speaks for itself, and come on, such a great colorway and a cool old school drawing of a bull that somehow makes another logo when you flip it. So there it is. That is my list, and I can only imagine how many people disagree with this. Truthfully, this video took a lot longer than I was suspecting it to take just because of the amount of mixing I did with the logos. But I had to come to a decision and I'm sticking with this. There's only a couple of the logos where I would definitively say are in lock-hold positions. Other than that, they're pretty much interchangeable. Overall, thank you for watching and let me know how much do you disagree with my list. And is there someone out there that agrees with me, that agrees with where I put the Lakers? Peace.